What's up guys, this is RivenWarlock I'm here today with a video that should have been out like before season 6 came out of My Hero. Honestly, I do apologize because for starters, yeah, one of the models is not supposed to be there because it's been updated since Overlord, and this video has been late due to editing and life, but here we are. What if UA's class 1A had to encounter the 6 upper moons? Can they survive? Now, this is a question that people might be like, well, this because of this X factor on who would win. We're talking about season 5 version of the characters. At the end of season 5 versus the 6 upper moons, and everything else would be more explained. But to give it more context, is not whether they can beat them, it's whether they can survive. Now, let's go to our experts, and then to the big discussion.
Hello everyone, and good whatever time you're listening to this. I am KoolKen, and I am giving you the list of Class 1A students for Class 1A versus the upper moons of Demon Slayer. Let's start off with basically who they are. Class 1A is the current class of My Hero Academia. It ends UA High. They are future heroes, and they have all proven themselves in battle currently with this set of challenges they have faced, which is unique to their class. Now we shall go over every student, some in more details than others, but you get an idea of who each student is. Starting with the main character of the show, Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku. His quirk is
one for all.
One for all.
One for All is a quirk that's passed down from generation to generation. Izuku is the 9th user of the quirk currently, and one of the most powerful since he's able to unlock other quirks within the quirk. One for All itself is able to be passed down through either him giving it to another person. Actually, that's the only way he can give it to them, but it has to be with the intention of him giving the quirk to him. And even when it's given, he can still withhold it within him for a while longer. It's like what One for All does, it gives him super strength, super speed, and also with the inclusion of the Black Whip quirk, it gives him the ability to trap and ensnare enemies. Next is Katsuki Bakugo. His quirk is Explosion. His sweat's like nitroglycerin, which explodes. So he's able to versatilely use the explosion to his advantage for attacking, even defending, not too well there, and mobility. He's even arranged like gauntlets to be able to store up his sweat so he can use bigger and more powerful attacks. Next student I want to talk about is Shoto Todoroki, and his quirk half hot, half cold, which enables him to shoot fire and ice from his body. They keep each other in balance so he doesn't get too hot or doesn't get too cold. Either way, if he uses one side too much, his body will start to slow down and stall. You can also combine these two into more powerful attacks. Next, we're going to talk about Momo Yaoyorozu, who probably has the most versatile quirk, Creation. She is my favorite female character of the story. Her quirk Creation can create any inanimate object, from weapons, armor, to even tools for her everyday use, which can be very versatile in a fight against people who are pretty much very powerful. Next, we have Tenya Ida, who is the son of the Ida family and the next hero, Ingenium. His quirk is Engine. On the back of his legs, he has, engine on them that help him run fast. He's a speedster type. His main focus is kicks with his attacks. He's super fast, and he's also very smart, which can give a tactical advantage to everyone. since he's the one who can bring the class together as class president. Though Deku also is good at that as well. Next is Ochako Uraraka, aka Uravity. Her quirk is 0G. She touches anyone or anything with her quirk activated and they lose their gravity. They pretty much float off for as long as she can hold it until she needs to start barfing rainbows. If that happens, the quirk deactivates. But as long as it's active, you'll keep floating, or whatever she touches keeps floating until she hits release on it. Once she releases it, their gravity returns to normal. I'm going to do a speed run of quirks real quickly. Just giving names and quirks to a couple of them. Kyokajiro, her quirk, Earjack. Pretty much, she can manipulate sound waves with it. Most importantly, the beats of her heart. She can also use it to listen in on people and other things. And then there's Koda, who uses the quirk Ana Voice, which he can control any animals within his vicinity. There is Sato, who has the quirk Sugar Rush, which he eats a lot of sugar and makes him strong and buff for a little bit. But there's a time limit how much he can have and how much sugar he eats. Next is Denki Kaminari. His quirk is Electrification. Simple enough, he is the electric type. He is basically a class Pikachu, but stupid. So he'll basically be zapping people with lightning bolts. Next is Eijiro Kirishima, aka Mr. Hard-On himself. His quirk is Hardening, which he can shift the density of his body to be as hard as rock or even something harder. This is a great defense, and he can use it for attacking as well. Next is Hanta Sero, who's Tape. He's basically the running gag of Spider-Man. He's very good at using his tape to trap and ensnare his enemies. Next is Mina Ashno, whose quirk is Acid. Even though her quirk is something simple as acid, it's actually a mutation which causes her skin to be pink. She can throw acid and control its acidity from basically her hands and even feet. In other parts of her bodies as well. This acid can be strong enough to melt through metal, or weak enough to be like something like citrus acid if you want. Next is Minoru Mineta, whose quirk is Pop Off. He has balls that grow on his head. They're purple, they're sticky, and they can only stick for a while, maybe a day or so. But whatever's trapped on it cannot get them off no matter what. They'll be pretty much stuck there until the stickiness wears off in a day. Next is Toro Hagakure. She is invisible. Her quirk is invisibility. But she can also reflect light in different ways around her, which can cause distractions. And since she's completely invisible, if she removes all articles of clothing, she is unseen to anyone who's using regular vision. And if you're using something like heat vision stuff, you'll definitely be able to see her. Next would be Tokoyami, aka Mr. Dark Shadow himself. His quirk, Dark Shadow, emits a being of shadows and darkness from his back, who supports him in combat. This being is very powerful, especially at the nighttime. If he doesn't keep control of his emotions, that being can take over and pretty much go on an uncontrollable rampage. This is attacking anyone and anything around, including allies. So he has to be extremely careful when he's using it. Next is Yuga Aoyama, whose quirk is Naval Laser. He shoots a laser from his belly button, pretty much. And then there's Ojiro, whose quirk is Tail. He has a powerful tail that no one else has. And then we have Tsuyu Asui, whose quirk is Frog. She can do anything a frog can do, including camouflage, secrete poison from her body, or even, swim in water, lash your tongue out, and other things you can think a frog can do. And then we have Soji, who has multiple powerful arms, that can do many things, from just increase its striking power, or even create eyes, mouths, and even ears to carry around his voice or help him see better. I've gotten the entire class.
On our end of things, we're talking about the 6 upper moons. We'll start with Upper Moon 6, Daki and Gyutaro. Start with the most pesky of their abilities is the fact that they are a tag team. And they are more effective the farther apart they are away, for 2 reasons. 1, they can't die as long as the other is alive. And 2, they fight in sync with each other no matter the distance, it would seem. Daki's ability is to turn her body and excrete sashes from her body to become a silk-like substance that is both sharper than a blade and stronger than steel. She can turn her body into this substance while being cut to prevent limbs and her head from being cut off. She's a seductress in her special time, but she's extremely morbid. And Gyutaro fawns over his little sister and is extremely insane. His ability is poisonous blood sickles. He controls and manipulates his blood in whatever fashion he desires, whether that be throwing the sickles and controlling them as they fly through the air, making blood projectiles and having them chase the opponent, or just straight up having his body explode in an exploding blood slashes that, despite being blood, can cut the skin. And if you get even the slightest scratch, you're almost dead to rights. His poison is so toxic and effective, you would have to be specially trained to be able to withstand it for a long period of time. Next on our list is Upper Moon 5, Gekko. Gekko is one of the most oddest designed demons we've ever seen in Demon Slayer, with his eyes for mouths and his mouth hole for an eye. He travels between several pots that he's created from the bodies of his victims, teleporting between each one until they are all broken. He's considered a genie in this form for his design. But once all of his pots are broken, he goes into a much more powerful, offensive transformation, where his skin becomes harder than diamond, and he can summon forth what seems to be a tsunami of flesh-eating fish. But if you attack these fish, they excrete a liquid poison that can go through the skin and kill you, similar to Gyutaro's poison, I would imagine. We have not seen him animated, and this is the extent of most of our abilities on him. Oh, I almost forgot. He has this ability to also summon giant octopus tentacles from his jars, if he's able to. And the next one we'll be talking about is Upper Moon 4, Hentengu. Hentengu is a special case in many ways. For one, he has a small main body that travels around and is extremely stealthy. Even the most high level of demon slayers were not able to detect him until he was right on them. He has a mental disability which comes to great influence about the way he acts. He murders and kidnaps people and blames it on his evil hands, and considers himself a victim in all of his crimes, and even now only considers himself a victim. He has the ability to create clones of themselves, and each of his clones have a different ability, ranging from sonic voices, wood manipulation, lightning, and many more. Each of these have, obviously, a myriad of abilities and allow him to get the extra bonus of none of them can die unless the main body is destroyed. But that being said, you'd have to find the main body, and it makes him very tricky to fight, because his other clones are far, far more powerful than him alone. Well, each of his clones are named after a different emotion, like there's an anger clone, which is the muscly one. Each of them have a different name as well. I'm still learning some about these guys, but their abilities are what we're here for today, after all. He is a anger clone, a relaxation clone, a sorrow clone, a joy clone, and finally the hatred clone. And the hatred clone is what happens when he mixes all of the clones together, and their abilities stack on top of each other all at once, becoming near unstoppable. And if all of that fails and he has to fall back on his own thing, he has one last thing, the resentment form, which is all of his clones plus himself fighting together in this one body. He's a truly frightening force in this form and nearly took out everyone in his own battle. Next, we'll be talking about Upper Moon 3, Akaza, a martial artist with the ability to endlessly regenerate by being a demon. His ability is called Shockwave. No matter the distance, any physical blow can be felt from a range away. So it doesn't matter how far you are, you're always going to be able to feel the full strength of his attacks. And his speed is frightening. This simple ability has proven itself when he took down the Flame Hashira, Rengoku. He's not to be underestimated. And if we're assuming, in this particular case, we are assuming he's also having the ability to regenerate his head, since he does have the potential to do it. With that in mind, he cannot be beheaded like the previous demons mentioned before. And this, other than one exception, will be a running case going forward. Akaza is one of the mightiest of the Upper Moons due to his strength and speed. He's relentless, and if there is anyone who he considers weak, he'll take them out first. One thing that could be a detriment to him is that he doesn't kill women. He does not eat them anyways. This has not been said if he's ever harmed them or hurt them in any way or killed a woman, but we know he does not eat women. Next, the man who almost exclusively likes to eat women unless otherwise, Upper Moon 2, Doma. A man with rainbow-colored eyes and the ability to control the atmosphere around him, turning it into utter ice. Doma is a cult leader and is completely self-absorbed with the idea of happiness and bringing people joy through what he believes is his salvation, people joining his body. Doma is someone who is the biggest obstacle to overcome in this particular set of scenarios. With his ability of simply being present, breathing alone becomes an issue, because just breathing in his vicinity causes your allies to slow and begin to hurt from the inside as they begin to freeze and get cut up from the very icy air inside their lungs. Then there is his abilities. He's fast. His metal fans can cut off a person's head, and with the ice abilities to go along with it, you can imagine all of the creativity he can come up with that. From ice clones to flowery daggers and knives to his ultimate attack, a giant frozen boot, which we never got to see the maximum potential of, but it was supposedly to hyper freeze the air and control all the ice around him at extreme speeds. Doma is probably the most threatening being, other than our next contender, Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo, brother to the best demon slayer of all time. He uses a breathing style known as the Breath of the Moon, and he has used this breath style over the years of being Upper Moon 1. He has never been overthrown, never been questioned, for his strength is just that overwhelming. It took all of the strongest demon slayers to put him down, and even then, he's the one who ended his own life. He is far stronger than anyone we've spoken of before. He can launch every blade stroke, sends out projectiles of crescent moon slashes and omnidirectional attacks. His swordsmanship and breath style allows him to move stronger and faster than any other demon. He has multiple eyes, so he always sees when you're coming, and he evolves at a rapid pace. His blade regenerates and evolves. His body evolves, though without the... He has a very, I wouldn't say weak mental point, but his whole idea is becoming a warrior. It's why he hates getting hit, because he still thinks himself as human, despite everything, despite being a demon. He hates getting hit, because as a warrior, you should feel your wounds, yet he does not. This injures him so, and thus, the best way to probably do anything to Kokushibo would be to demoralize him into suicide, or, of course, sunlight directly. But unlike others... Oh yes, I forgot to mention, Doma cannot regenerate his head. Kokushibo, like Akaza, can regenerate his head, so beheading is not an option. You must overpower him and get him in the sunlight, but best of luck when not even the strongest of the strong of the demon slayers could handle that task. And with that, not including Muzan or the Infinite Castle, are the abilities of our demons.
Alright, now for the recording part, the discussion part, I have Will has the mic.
Hello everyone, RivenWarlock here again. Don't mind the idiot in the closet. He just saw that.
Anyway, I have RivenWarlock with the 6 upper moons, and I have KoolKen here with class 1A. And the scenario is an abandoned city. No one can escape, and they have to fight. They have until dawn, which is, let's say, for the convenience sakes, 1 hour and 30 minutes, similar to the Countdown to Sunrise arc from Demon Slayer. Y'all can begin.
Alright, well, would you like to start us off?
Well, I was going to ask you, since you're the one who's in trouble. How are you dividing your puny forces?
Yeah, I remember you almost 4-1.
Insects are insects.
You're talking about insects with actual power.
Please.
Alright, so
Where do you want to start?
I'm actually gonna divide my. I'm actually gonna play it like this. I'm gonna divide class 1A into groups of 5, and we're gonna take on each. Even though there's 6 upper moons, we're gonna take on 4 at once in the last 2, and as a larger group.
Alright. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Only about 2 of your characters might be able to actually deal damage to any of the demons, though. What are you gonna do about that?
Not necessarily. Let's say we got an hour and a half before sunrise.
So you're hoping to outlast them.
Yes.
Aside from who's in what group, which ones are you attacking?
And we'll break it down by each one.
Give me a list of the other moons.
Alright, Upper Moon 6.
We have Daki for now.
Just Daki? Alright,
'Cause
Daki slash Gyutaro, but Gyutaro comes out later in the fight.
I'm actually gonna have. I'm gonna have Mina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have Kirishima. Is a Tokiyami.
Really? Against her?
Yep. And then finally, I'm gonna have Aoyama.
Do you
Solid picks, and I agree that Ayama is definitely a good choice no matter where he goes in this scenario.
Which is
Again, and this does bring up the point, I think we've agreed at this point that his laser does affect the demons. We just don't know how much. But we do. I think it's fair to say it is effective.
Yeah. Which is why I put him with those three. Because
And out of all of them,
they can protect him well.
I agree. My argument, though, against him going up against Daki is that I'm not positive he can take her out right away due to Yutero's soul bond.
They won't know. That's the
Exactly. They'll be confused at first, for sure.
thing. Okay. I did wanted to ask, do you want to set it up where we discuss who's against who and then we go into the fight, or do you just want to go straight to this fight and then we move on to the next one?
Do you want to talk about the setup for each one then, first? Or just go straight to each one?
So we'll start with the stuff each fight.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, then, who was going up against Upper Moon 5? Gyoko.
Alright. Sorry, remind me his abilities again.
He can transport in between pods, harden his scales, and summons poisonous swarms of fish. For just the basics.
For him, I would have Tsuyu Asui,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Todoroki.
Okay.
Strange choice for that one, but okay.
It was like, you'll see why.
Okay.
And it was like, I'm gonna have Momo Yadorozu too.
Yajirozu. Okay.
And then my last pick, I have Ezlik, so I might surprise you, Guraka.
That's fine. Makes sense.
Okay.
With this opponent.
Okay. For Upper Moon 4, who are you going to have fight him?
Yeah, these are gonna be starting teams of 5.
This is where the teams of 5 start.
Yep.
Very well. Who will you choose to go up against number 4?
Thank you, Kaminari.
Kaminari.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay.
It was like Kyoko Jiro.
Alright. This is interesting choices because it feels like you're just trying to match his abilities.
Do you even know what his abilities are?
Basically, yes.
So far, you're just matching his abilities.
Matching abilities as well as giving people an encounter.
Well, let's hear the other 3, I guess.
It was like Bakugo.
Sure. Wondering where you were going to throw him in. I think this was a wiser choice than where I thought you were going to put him. If you put him in any of the others, I don't think it would have gone well for him. This might have been one of the better choices.
This one kind of throw in, but it was like Soji. Yeah, he's really kind of thrown in right now.
That's an interesting one to put there, but okay.
And Mineta. It's like this.
Not yeah, sure, yeah, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Where
Okay.
else would you put him?
I have nowhere else to put him.
Well,
Okay.
maybe Akaza, but
Okay. Now for Akaza.
This is
hey,
actually.
I'm the one talking here, chump.
I'm sorry. I'm helping you out as the moderator.
So, who's up against Upper Moon 3, Akaza?
This is actually my friend with Deku.
I had a feeling you would choose Deku for this one.
Yes.
It just kind of makes sense.
Okay. Next.
Ida.
Okay. Because of speed and power, yeah. I'm with you so far.
This was gonna be random about Coda because I don't have any place to put him.
That's...
But I have actually a good. He's more from this one, but I actually think I can think of something good with him.
In all honesty,
Yep. He's
being
not,
very nice, I don't see Coda as a Class A student.
That could be a discussion of its own. Let's not get into that.
I know. So I'm also gonna. What was that? I'm also gonna put Sugar Rush. I can't remember his real name.
Sugar Rush?
Sato.
Sato? Alright. 2 powerhouses, a
Four.
speedster, and a bugmancer.
Yeah. Well, animal answer.
Whatever you want to call
It's
it.
any animal.
Is it any animal? I thought it was...
Okay.
Sorry, I only remember him for the bugs.
One more.
And I was like,
Unless you want
I
to.
got 2 more actually.
Wait.
No, I have
You doing 6 on this one?
5.
That
We're already
was
at
4
4.
right there.
Yep. Yeah, well, let's see.
You don't want
and
any
then,
more.
and then there's like, then I'm putting Hagakure.
Higakure.
And there's like, there's a message to my man this year.
See, I know what you're doing with her, but I think we've agreed that her ability isn't exact. It's bending line, and since it's at night, I don't think it will work the way you're wanting it to.
And like,
We'll get to that point.
We'll get to that point, yeah.
Let's
And
not
keep
let's
in
not get
mind this is
distracted.
without all the crazy perks he has now.
yeah, and that's the same, but there's still a reason why she's on team with Deku.
All right, well, I'll wait and see then.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Leader of the Demon Horde. At this point,
Doma, Upper Moon 2.
I literally only have 2 characters left.
So
What?
you have no one ready for Upper
1,
Moon
2,
1?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my god.
This might even be. That might not be a good thing, though.
Okay, I'll give you this. We can readjust.
No.
No. Let him make his decision. This is not yours.
Because I'm banking on what you said about also the 2 other the 2 demons fighting Akaza and Upper Moon 2
Doma.
fighting. Yeah, Doma fighting.
You're depending on them to fight.
Yes.
Assuming it depends how quickly if they win their fight and if they run into each other. That's the only way that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm banking on
You're depending on one of your groups dying.
I'm more
and it's
banking
probably
on,
the group fighting Doma. Did you save all the has-beens for Doma? Oh, those poor chumps.
There's only 2
Oh, no.
left?
There's only 2 of them. I believe it's... I'm trying to think.
Momo? No, you already said Momo.
I put
Who is it?
Todoroki. I think Todoroki.
You already said Todoroki.
Yep. It's not even particularly powerful.
Sero?
It is
Yes,
Sero.
Sero.
Oh my god.
And Kirishima?
No, Kirishima's on team 1.
Soji.
No, I said Shoji already.
You said Shoji?
Yep.
Oh, Ojiro.
Oh, damn.
Sero and Ojiro?
Oh,
You said Sero and Ojiro after Doma. What is wrong with you? It's not even a fight.
It's not even a fight.
They would die by being in the same room with the man. Are you joking?
I'll give you one chance to change.
No. I was like, they're fine. They're backing for the other ones. They're not gonna fight. It's like I'm assuming.
Someone's not really gonna give a shit.
I'm assuming
He would
that,
probably just make a clone and leave.
I'm assuming that Akaza and Doma fight.
Yeah, but they have to be around the same vicinity.
It's like B. It's like B. They don't encounter them. It's like they don't encounter the last 2 moves until they're done the other 4. That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, but you still have 1 left.
I do. That's why I said they're not going to come together.
You do know he's not going to stay still. He's an active hunter. The man that you've left alone is the most dangerous one. Remind me, were we going to let them have the teacher or not? Not that he would do much in this scenario.
No, well, do you want to? We didn't add it to the
No?
section.
No, okay.
No.
Alright. Well, where do you want to start?
I'm going to actually start with... We're going to start with the guy in the pot real quickly.
You want to start with the pot.
Yeah. Now, here's like Asui also is a poisoner, as you remember.
So she would be immune to the poisons. This is a good idea, I agree.
Yes.
Well, wait. She's more of is it more of acid for her?
No, acid is Mina.
Oh, my bad.
Yep.
Yes, you're right.
Wait, for who? Is Asu?
Asui is the frog. She is
Yeah,
frog.
okay. I'm obviously gonna double check on
And
this
she said she
shit
can do
like that.
anything a frog do.
She does have a poison dart frog, but what's the limit of her poisons, I guess?
I have not...
We need... Hey, check on
Yeah,
that.
I'm on it.
We'll
I'm on
see the
it.
limits of her poisoning because the demon's poisons are pretty...
powerful, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty... No, just not even saying this because I just like the demons, but they have some really bad poisons.
It is not actually
definitely
stated
not.
here. What the fuck?
Oh, so we don't know?
We don't know.
Should we say she has a resistance then?
Let's say it's similar to what happened with season 2.
Oh, should we say it's kind of like when they were fighting good old Sound Hashira?
Yeah, we'll go with
Alright,
that.
so she has a resistance, but not immunity.
Yep.
Alright, I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that too. As I probably should let you viewers know, I'm the one who keeps things in check.
The researcher, don't mind him.
Yeah, don't mind me.
He butts in randomly for no reason.
Oh, shut
when
the
he's
fuck
not
up.
supposed- So talking about this, how do you think this fight would go? To be honest, 5 is one of the ones I know the least about, but I know his abilities are stronger than Upper Moon 6.
But then that's why I put him against the more powerful. It is powerful.
Because he's more of an unknown.
He's more, as well as if there's 2 others I think that would be defeated quickly, it would be Daki and him because he's unknown and I see Daki.
See, I just disagree with how Daki works, though.
It's like, we'll get to Daki a little bit.
We'll get to Daki in a minute.
It's like,
when it comes to Upperman 5, if any of them are struck by the poisons, and especially his AoE poison, things get really iffy.
Like,
and not to mention,
now
they can't go in for solid strikes against the guy.
You mentioned that. You mentioned he can teleport pots.
He can, and if he gets a hold of you, if I recall, I think he can morph people into the pots.
Yeah, and that's an instant death.
Yes. So you can't let him cut you. You can't get hit by his poison. If you punch him, his diamond hard skin can rip you asunder. And yeah, and he teleports. So it's stupid. He's a stupid opponent.
Like, so my opinion is Mo can create stuff like that.
She's going to create more pots.
Yes.
Is that a good thing? You know what those pots are made out of, right?
Yeah, she could probably trap him within the pots.
Would he even teleport in there though?
I don't know. It depends on how his. It depends on how his demon art works.
Yeah, Todoroki will keep pressure on him. Because remember, his
because
fire
the fire. See,
yeah.
I don't. Fire wouldn't do much to him.
But ice
and
will.
stuff. But well, ice won't slow him down either. But well, I'll say this: it will slow him down very much. So it will keep him at bay. But that is only a limited time thing. I agree. Todoroki is definitely the best way to slow him down until he starts using the AoE shit. Which is water-based, by the way.
Hey, ice. Ice is a counter.
I agree, the ice is a counter. But I don't know, I'm not sure what they would do about the actual fish part of the ice. But I don't know, because I don't know how hard that attack hits, is my thing.
It depends on if you can freeze the ice and the fish.
Yeah, I agree. If that's the case, then that works. Absolutely. Who do you think would go down in this fight, if anyone?
Uraraka. That's my trump card.
You think Uraraka would?
It's like, Uraraka's my trump card.
Because she's the one who's gonna die?
It's like, yes, sadly she could be die, but here's the reason why.
You're gonna make her fly up
She's
into the sky?
she's gonna float his ass up to the sky.
So you're gonna sacrifice her, probably get turned into a pot or something.
Yes, but it's like, but in the mean, it's like, but and it's like at the same time.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do.
You're trying to get him out of the fight as soon as possible.
Yes.
You're trying to basically force him into that one pot and have it float.
You're gonna make one of the pots float.
Yes.
But what would stop him going to another pot, though? I mean,
Okay.
smashing the pots is an option, but then he gets tougher to fight because he hardens his body.
Yeah, but if he's in his last...
he's trapped in the pots. He's floated away.
Fair enough. So your goal is to make all the pots flow away.
Yeah. So it's either A, we sacrifice Uraraka, or B.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight because I'm still moderating. So what your idea is that they basically force like anything he can teleport away. So if he tries that, he's just fucking stuck up there.
Yes.
Pretty much. Until
that
the poison, until she dies.
Until either she dies or, you said, if he's in a
But
pot.
but that sounds like...
If he's in a pot, is it so we're...
It sounds like that's a good way to get out of the fight until he falls back to the ground.
But he's up there.
How long can Uraraka hold?
Depends. Poison.
She can hold it for a while, actually.
If we're saying she's going to be the one to die...
If it's something small like that, she can hold that for a while.
How long is a while?
A very long time. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to say hours.
So ignoring all that, if you're saying she's the one who's going to die,
then,
whether that be from poison or attack...
she can't undo her quirk either.
She can't undo her quirk.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes things.
Yeah. The effect of her quirk does not get undone when she dies.
That we know of.
Yeah, I'm going to assumption that if she has to physically turn it off.
That we know of, yeah.
Yeah, but if she's dead, she can't turn it off.
Yes, but it's not there. She can't.
It's not it's not a concrete thing. So we're just throwing straws at that point. So
we'll hold off on that one. But if that is how it works, then yeah, that works. If it isn't, then say it's only until the poison takes her out or she dies during the fight.
If she dies during the fight, it's not going to work. Let's keep that in mind.
And based on how this guy works, I think Todoroki's safe. I'm not sure if Momo could dodge all those poison attacks. Sue has resistance, but I don't think it would last forever.
I mean, doesn't Momo can create some kind of serum or something?
She needs time for that.
Yeah, she doesn't know the exact.
Yeah, she would have to stop and study it.
Yes.
So that would take time.
That would take
technically, yes, but that takes a long time, and
Yeah.
that means she's in the open.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
if
So
anybody's already out of the way, she can she go ahead and do that.
So let's just
And ignoring the other obvious thing, the fact that she can create UV lights.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I'm saying that for her for later.
You're saving that for later. Okay.
Yep. Which is why
let's make it. Let's be nice for this round only and say somehow this plan just fucking works and Gyukuro is just out of the fight for now.
Yeah.
For now.
But Uraraka is on a time limit now, and
She's
the others
poisoned.
are poisoned.
Yeah.
Well,
Except for
she's not in the fight. They're distracted with the others.
what are you on about?
That Gyukuro would not be focused on her unless the fucking pots are poisoned.
AOE.
Unless
It's
it's
literally waves of poisonous fish.
Unless you go around.
It's like a wave attack.
Is it wave in one direction or is it wave in?
I don't know.
All right,
He's the one I know the least about.
Let's put a pause on that for now.
And move on to another fight?
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll come back.
As I said, he's the one I know least about, and his abilities are weird as hell. The others are easier to talk about.
I'll obviously go more. Once I got enough information, we'll go back to it.
Alright, so we'll go
to
to Daki's fight.
Daki's fight.
I think she has a chance to hold out long enough until
so
she
she
can
is-
call out Gyutaro. I really do. Hiroshima, despite his strength, her stuff can hold him back. It's both as strong and
But he's
more
not-
flexible than him.
He's actually not the one I'm banking on. It's actually not.
I had a
It's
feeling.
not.
I was wondering why you added him there, but yeah,
he's more the defensive shield.
I figured.
Yeah, but the one I'm banking on is Mina.
Mina,
Her
to
acid.
melt the stuff.
Yeah, she can change she changed the pH of her acid, which means she can make it stronger or weaker.
Okay.
I'm banking on
I
is
see
that
what you're
she
saying.
that she decides to make her acid stronger.
To lower the regeneration rate, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. Hysteria style poison, basically.
And she keeps pull as much acid as she can.
I agree that this would work to weaken her, but I
Yeah.
do not think that she would not call out Gyutaro before she died.
Unless she goes for
And I
Mina
don't
goes for the
think
head
she's
first.
actually capable of dying until Gyutaro comes out, is the thing.
Now, this
Honestly, if Gyutaro never came out, I think they would have just won based on her infinite regeneration.
It's like, but also my thing is was she able to melt both of them at the same time still?
I do think in time she would, if she had enough time, she'd
What
be
is-
able to keep them
This is
down.
where Dark Shadow.
Here's
This is
the
where
thing.
Tokyomi and Aoyama come into play.
Here's the thing about them. I agree that it would work, but it only works as effective as Wisteria poison. And they can shake it off pretty quickly eventually.
Eventually, but it depends on if she keeps changing the pH of her acid.
I feel like, as I said, they're upper moons. They catch up really fucking quick once they have an idea of what they're dealing with. By the time that happens, Gyutaro will be out, and then everything goes to hell.
That's where Aoyama and Dark and Tokyomi.
So what's your plan for Gyutaro?
Wait, we're going back to.
We're at Daki.
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
Is it Aoyama?
You're talking about keeping him at bay with light.
Yes.
What are you going to do about the flying blood sickles?
It's a Dark Shadow.
I don't think that's enough.
that is enough, trust me.
I will have to, as someone who's in between this, I would have to agree with Ken on this. Dark
Shadow is very powerful, I agree, and it's at night.
So the advantage is with Dark Shadow. So as someone who's moderating now, comment section, you can say I'm wrong, but I'm for.
Here's my question about Dark Shadow: is he immune to the poison?
Yes.
Yes. He's not exactly. He's a shadow. He's not exactly someone who can get hurt.
All right. How protected is Tokoyami while he's inside Dark Shadow?
He's protected by Aoyama.
That wasn't my question. How protected is Tokoyami?
Just as.
I think he's asking by himself.
How effective is his armor? Is why I'm asking. Aoyama protecting him is all well and good, but the blood sickles are omnidirectional at will, and that's my concern.
Same thing is Dark Shadow can also attack omnidirectional as well. So he's blocking the thing.
I don't know if he's omnidirectional. He's definitely anything in his view.
Yeah.
Is in protection.
The moment they come into view.
I know how big he can get, and I know how strong he is. But my concern is that he does have weak points.
Also, Kirishima and Mina are still there.
Yes, and another thing you have to keep in mind, if you are depending on them being near each other, Ayama's going to weaken Dark Shadow every time he fires.
He's like they done train to resist that. But it's like,
That's all well and good, but
it's
still,
also,
the point is
like,
still there.
It's still there, but it's not going to be weakened to that point.
Yes.
Or is it Dark Shadow? Like
All right.
There's also still.
Let's have it like this.
I agree that they do have a very fair chance. This is very good. Good job. You got me there.
Yep.
I do not think they would all make it away unscathed. Once
I'm not planning to make it a scale. I'm just saying they will definitely.
Because by the point Gyutaro comes out, Momo isn't there. If they get poisoned, that's game over for whoever gets hit.
Yes. But that's the time coming on Kirishima because it's like.
Kirishima would die.
I'm just going to say if he's dying.
Kirishima's dying.
If
in
he's
that
dying,
fight.
then yeah.
I'll see it. She might die too. Despite her poison, by the time Gyutaro comes out and Daki's at her full power, which we haven't talked about Daki's full power, which I think you're right, she still has a good chance of dealing with that. I do think she would get at least scratched by Gyutaro, and that would be at the end of that. And that's the problem with Gyutaro's poisons.
I'll definitely agree with that.
Okay, so what can we?
But as for I'm not completely sold Ayama's that good at dodging, and even if he's being protected by Dark Shadow, I do agree that he would be the one to help finish them off. I don't know if he would be unpoisoned or not.
He has all that.
It's your call on that one.
I'm gonna say that his hero cost is very armor-like.
You think the armor would be enough to protect him?
Yes.
Okay, so who do we agree dies?
I'll accept that.
I would definitely agree with Mina and Kirishima dying though.
Yeah,
Okay.
that seems about right.
And both of them would definitely do a lot of damage.
And as I said, I'm not sure or not, but Tokoyami,
Tokoyami
someone better than us would have to judge that one.
Let's just say this: he's injured. Let's go with that.
Let's say he was injured, unpoisoned, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
So that's 2 of those down.
Well, 1 down and 1 trapped? Question mark? Well, he's trapped. I wouldn't say they killed him because they didn't kill him.
Yeah. His attack for let's go back to Gyoko for a second. His attack is kind of all over the place, but it is avoidable.
Yes.
So in that sense, it would be assumed that Ochako would only be able to survive or hold out long enough if that attack is not directed towards her.
And since it's AoE, it's hard to say if it is or not.
At that point, you guys have to agree on something on that.
As I said, I don't think Unaraku would make it. The others would be poisoned, and depending if they stop or not would depend if they actually make it out of that fight.
I give Unaraku a 75-25% making it.
Sure.
Okay.
Depending if the poison's taken care of or not. And if he does break out, that would mean nothing but trouble in this whole thing going over again.
Okay,
Moving on.
Who
do you want to talk about next?
Alright, we're going to have to talk about the one we have no problem with, Akaza.
You want to talk... So,
Akaza.
Yeah, I'll get on to another thing here in a second.
Do we want to talk about...
thought about, but yeah, let's talk about Akaza. You selected the exact ones I figured you would. So, I get why you chose the Invisible Girl. Makes sense. My only issue with her is her ability would work if it was in the day.
That was the reason why I chose her with Deku.
So, what is the argument with Deku?
Deku produces a type of light.
What are you talking? It has to be sunlight, though.
I know, but our reflection will still kind of be a distraction.
You're saying they'd pretend that it's sunlight to make him think that it's sunlight?
Yep.
He's not that stupid.
He's not that stupid, but
he's not like Donkey.
Bright light in his face.
Okay, Donkey's not stupid. She's just
stupid.
She's not that stupid. She's ignorant to fuck. Let's go that way.
That sounds making him.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
But I did wanted to say, Akaza, let me just add this: Akaza would only be, if anything, if luck, he will only be fooled once.
Yes.
I agree.
And I think that's all they need.
Let's just be.
I don't think that's the case. He can punch at full force no matter the distance. It would seem.
And then there's like you said that there's a Deku.
Deku would be the main fighter, and then
Yeah,
I would agree. Deku can take a hit from Akaza, even at full force, thanks to One for All.
Just to remind the viewer, we're talking about end of season 5 Deku, not whatever happens in season 6.
Not included.
Yes,
as well as the World's Heroes Mission movie.
Yes.
We're not counting that.
Anyways, moving back, Deku would definitely be the main fighter, along with Sugar Rush, probably changing between the two to take small breaks.
Yes.
I do not know. They'd have to wait. I think the thing with Akaza and them, I feel like they would have to just hold him off until someone with light powers showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see them putting him down.
I do not see him putting him down either. But
His speed and strength, along with his crazy regeneration, and the fact he gained the ability to regenerate his head, means he cannot be destroyed like the others. It's an endurance fight, for sure.
Can they make it the full 1 hour and 30 minutes?
They can make the full hour, or if someone with light can come to save them in time. Which brings me to my unfortunate news for you.
Me?
Upper Moon 1 randomly roaming around. What are you going to do about that?
Okay, hold on. I will do a randomizer real quick to see.
Oh yes, 1 through 6. Go ahead and do the random roll and we'll see where he ends up. Where does Upper Moon 1 end up?
He's helping
That's 3, so...
4.
Oh, 4?
So he's helping.
Oh, okay.
Hantengu.
That's unfortunate.
That is actually unfortunate because that's where Bakugo is.
Well, going back...
We haven't talked about that.
They're able to hold on. They're going to have to endure and wait.
So that means they'll survive.
Bakugo.
So they'll survive for sure.
yeah, because that means more of the both will call it.
Depending if she's willing to continue on even when she's poisoned, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to say that she's actually had time to study the poison and probably let's figure out.
So-
How fast can she study it?
That's
Pretty quickly, actually. She is a genius.
How fast do you think?
I honestly think give her maybe 10, as fast as 10 and as slow as 30.
Agreed.
Okay, if we all are in agreement, we'll
Let's
have that as
say
time.
30 just for the sake of fairness.
I got you.
Okay, so I would like to interject and say you'll talk about the fight between Upper Moon 4, but I will be the one who decides whenever Kokushibo decides to fucking arrive.
I just imagine this. They're like either on the verge or getting beaten back, and they feel another presence.
So, what do you want to talk about? We still have the poor suckers who are gonna die to Doma.
Oh, I feel like we should talk about Doma last, because that's just an unfortunate circumstance. we already know how that's going. So there's
Okay,
no point
so
in
you have to
talking.
talk about Upper Moon 4. So I will decide when.
So just because I know 2 of his abilities, break me down on the 4 abilities of our good friend Upper Moon 4.
I can't say his name. It's
Hantengu.
Such a.
I'm thinking it's Hantengu.
It is.
Yeah.
We have the.
The ability to clone himself.
He's a small fucker, so
These are tiny son of a bitch.
So Hantengu, Sekindo, which
Just
is
say it by the forms.
anger, relaxed, sorrow, joy, hatred, which is the combination, and then
Yeah.
resentment is the obvious final
Is
one.
the final form, yeah.
So let's just assume that anger and relaxed are active.
Yeah, and they aren't aware of tiny motherfucker.
Yeah.
For now.
Alright, so here we're going long range.
Long range is the goal for this one because
Yeah.
he's long range.
Yep.
Alright. So
Like-
lightning,
like-
sound, wood, and what's the other one?
Bronco's blast.
Yeah, well I meant
Explode.
it's lightning, sound, wood, and what are the 4 do?
Oh, one is lightning, Sekido, anger is lightning, and the other one is wind.
Ah yes, wind.
So those 2 are the first ones fighting right now.
Wind and lightning. You got a good combination.
Kaminari is a lightning rod.
Yep.
It's a natural lightning rod. So
Perfect.
So he'll absorb and redirect all lightning-based attacks.
And how would Bakugo do with someone who manipulates wind with his explosions?
It's like
I feel like there's something that has to do with
it's
explosions
like
and wind
countless,
pressure.
storm explosions.
Right. I understand how Bakugo works perfectly. It's the full understanding of the Mr. Wind controlling guy that I'm curious about.
It's like he uses the wind to. It's like he's gonna use the wind to like keep them.
Blow them away,
Yeah.
suffocate them,
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
Yeah. So which is why I'm keeping them out long. It's like
Keeping them at distance attacks.
And it's like we're in a city, right? So it's like so that's a more modern environment.
We are in an abandoned city.
It's like Bakugo can knock down buildings,
Right, okay. Gotcha.
creating uneven terrain, creating pockets of air.
And when it comes to that and them being long range, endurance might not be a problem for them like it is with Akaza.
as well as I have Soji on the team, right?
Soji is the one with the multi-arms.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he can figure out where the attacks are coming from.
Yep, same thing with Jiro.
And he would help find the small body probably eventually.
This is
Good
a
idea.
Jiro.
I agree. All right.
I think
What are you going to do against the wood one?
Water one is where Bakugo also shines, because
Because of the explosive power.
Explosive
Okay.
power.
Let's agree on something. The fact that Upper Moon 5 is small would mean that any attack towards him would be strong if in real life, say a nuke is fucking powerful. Imagine for a small person.
If his body gets hit by Bakugo's explosions,
it could theoretically
it could
kill.
theoretically insta-kill him, yes.
So let's make that clear, viewer. This is what we've agreed on.
Because of how they work, and if you actually obliterate them without anything to regenerate, based on what we've learned from my hero, it is possible to take care of this particular demon.
So
Because there wouldn't be enough left of him.
so that's the agreement. Continue on.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of all of them, my hero has the best chance of taking out this guy. Out of all of the other demons, this was the weak point I saw. Even 6 has a better chance than him, I felt, despite how powerful he is and him being theoretically stronger than them, even though they have the same ability. The fact that his body is so vulnerable in this scenario leaves it open.
And I have 2 people.
Bless you. Bless you.
Bless me.
And I have 2 people that can pinpoint something that's small,
Yes.
looking for him.
If they noticed him,
Yeah.
right? Again, they would not figure it out at first.
Yeah.
It would take them a bit, I will say that.
I was
but
I'll agree with that. But when they figure it out and they're actually looking for him.
my question is, would he have time to bring out his resentment form?
If they blow up the little body, no.
If
Like,
they
it's
blow
like-
it up, then no, yeah.
Marco is, even though he's very headstrong and he's very rash,
He
he's
is
also
tactical.
very tactical.
Agreed.
So he was.
So,
he would
assuming they
understand.
do make it in time and blow up the body, I do not see a way for Upper Moon 4 to make it. If there's something I'm missing from Upper Moon 4, make sure to let us know. Maybe I'm underestimating him too much.
Guess what that means? Kokushibo arrives.
So, on the verge of taking out Upper Moon 4.
I was gonna say actually.
I'm fully polar Upper Moon 4. Bakugo cheering.
Oh, they're fucked.
They would die. Let's agree on that right now.
I was like, no, I actually.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna say like,
You have something.
Jiro and I have Jiro and Soji. They probably sense him coming.
Oh, they didn't hear him coming on. If they didn't hear him, they'd sense him all right.
Yes.
That man carries a presence.
If they haven't sent him already, they probably sent him already. So probably when Baku finishes, it was like,
Bakugo, there's another.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna say he attacked on the side.
Oh, he absolutely would.
It's like, but I actually think that Bakugo might live.
What?
That's funny that you think that.
Yes.
Not without his limbs, he wouldn't.
I'm not saying he's not lose his limb. I'm just saying he's gonna live. It's like,
Who would come to save his ass?
No, Bakugo's reaction time is pretty damn great.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
But is it better than Kokushibo's?
I was like, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying he will live.
Okay, assuming this does happen, how the fuck would he get away?
I was like, first of all, explosions.
To launch himself.
Yeah.
Assuming he propels himself faster than Kokushibo can run.
Yes, or straight up.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We're in a city though, which means he'd have to outrun the skyscrapers, right?
Exactly.
You also forget Kokushibo has long range.
Knocked down a building, remember? So he's
That's
in,
a
the,
good point.
he's in the area where the building's knocked down.
So you're depending on him getting away via air.
Yes.
He's going to lose either one or more limbs.
I'm going to say he loses a leg. At least.
I was going to say an arm.
Even if he lost his arm, I feel like he could escape. It's just
Remember, he secrete his, sweat.
Wherever. I agree.
Yep.
But I just don't know what he would lose, either an arm or a leg. I was definitely thinking that.
I'm thinking a leg. Because
You-
he's
So-
upwards.
so we can agree.
Yeah.
Bakugo survives. Everyone else dead.
Yeah.
And everyone else is dead unless they already saw him coming.
No, they're not making it. I promise you, they're not making it out of Kokushibo. As much as I like them, and I love those characters, I do not see that happening.
Okay.
Well, okay.
In all fairness, you got to keep in mind, this guy is way stronger than Doma, and he has never been defeated.
So
Even in this series, he was never defeated.
Once.
He defeated himself.
Mm-hmm.
No, not that. He was defeated once.
Oh, but yeah, fair enough.
What a correct.
I'm so convinced that Richie's just a bleach character fucking around.
Yeah, but he didn't. He wasn't defeated by him. But yeah, I'll admit that was a failure for him.
He even says he was defeated. Anyway,
Yes,
not the point.
He admits that he was defeated by him, but he was still alive afterwards. So
Yeah, but he still is angry because that's not.
because he's a warrior. Yes.
Anyway.
Okay, so since none of the class 1 A has healing abilities, I'm going to say that first A is the first one.
What healers?
Yeah, I thought none of them have healing
Oh,
abilities.
okay. I was gonna say. I was about to say.
That's what they have
So
for healing
here's what we got right now.
Even then, that's still...
I would like to remind. So Yoko is floating. So
We're assuming if Uraraka made it, which it seems that she did,
Yep.
he's just going to continue floating until otherwise.
Until either sunrise, he's released somehow,
Or he gets another pot
he gets
nearby.
a partner by, which I doubt.
Well, we don't know how sneaky this guy is, so
Yes.
we'd have to find out just how prepared this guy is, how cautious he is. If he's super cautious, if he isn't, then I'd say that
I don't know. He was very cocky with
I'd say that you were probably likely taking him out.
Yes. That's 2 of them down.
Okay. Anyway, with Daki and
Yep. 4 and 5 are down. 6
what did we agree on actually? I didn't.
for 6.
Yeah.
If they did defeat them, then they'd be heavily poisoned and injured.
Mm-hmm.
Tokoyami and
We said that.
Yama.
We said that Kirishima and Mina are dead.
Yep.
Yeah, as I said, Tokoyami is injured and Aoyama is,
Yeah, almost fine. He's actually fine.
which that means that
You think I almost fine?
Yes.
We thought he would be injured, though. I thought.
No, I think.
No, I'm sorry. Not injured, but wound.
no,
You
I
said
said that for Tokoyami.
Yes, Tokoyami.
Tokoyami was wounded.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, Tokoyami
Yes,
was
yes.
He was like, Ayama's fine. But Mina and Kirishima are unfortunately dead.
All right.
Now we go to the poor bastards. Doma versus Sero and Ojiro.
I'll leave one of my ice clones behind.
fine.
See you later.
No, they're dead.
Yeah,
they died.
They're just dead.
They're just dead.
Yeah,
Who
Moving
did
on.
run away?
they never even come.
I don't think they'd have a chance,
They
to
don't
be
even
honest.
fight.
Poor fucking
Oh yeah, I
dudes.
forgot.
Doma's probably.
Wait, I almost forgot something.
What?
I put my dad on that one group.
Wait, which group?
One Bakugo.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, he is, motherfucker.
No, because the sticky balls can stop him. Because they can stop him.
He would just chop off his limbs and keep moving.
Yeah, it wouldn't really stop him for long.
Unless he sticks his arm.
And here's the other thing. He has distance melee attacks.
Yeah,
He would
he's
cut them
fucking
before they
dead.
reached him. He would cut Mineta before he threw them.
Okay, Ken, this is your chance. You have Tokoyami, Aoyama. I don't know who we said. Everyone from Gyukuro survived, as shown. So you have a few players who can help out, either face off Kokushibo or help them against Akaza. Your call.
And
We're
Doma's
going
keep in mind Doma's roaming now.
I'll make a thing depending on what he chooses.
I am taking all survivors from the other 2 fights. There's a down one, including Bakugo since he escaped. I'm saying that he escaped.
Yes, he's injured.
He's injured, but he escaped.
Okay, so they're gonna go with Bakugo.
Yep. I was like, so.
All right, I'll have to make a random
Bakugo,
to see where
yeah.
Doma goes.
Yeah.
The Legless Wonder. Let's
Okay,
go.
so it's that group. It was like, so that group was just Todoroki, Uraraka,
Here,
Asuka,
I'm gonna set a timer.
Ariana, and this is a Tokoyami with Bakugo.
Okay, so who do we talk about right now then?
Well, I feel like we'd have to come back to good old Akaza beating the shit out of our poor guys that are probably, some might be close to death or doing all right.
That's where it was like, and this is where that it was like that group that just.
So by the time they make it, I do think Sugar Rush would have been out.
Yes, he's either knocked out or dead.
Invisible Girl.
She's still running around.
Either he realized she's a female, or he just doesn't realize she's there.
I'm gonna say.
I'm not sure which. It depends on how Compass Needle works, frankly.
I'm gonna say she doesn't realize she's. I'm gonna say that he realizes she's not there yet because they haven't employed that trick again.
Okay.
They once and
Timer has hit, and Doma is that's so fucking ironic. He somehow ends up crossing paths with Akaza.
Okay. So there's two ways this can go. They go by their usual natures and combat each other while fighting the enemy. Or Akaza's nature keeps him in mind that he's doing a job for Muzan and continues fighting, is how I see this.
I see this.
Despite their problems with each other, they do always focus on getting the job done.
I probably should have clarified. This is just the demons randomly being teleported.
I know.
They have no orders. They're just there.
I know, but again.
Yeah,
I'm going with the idea that, like you said, since
depending on how they see this, one of two scenarios could happen.
Let's go with scenario. Let's go. My scenario with this one is, like I said, I was banking on.
You're banking on them fighting.
Yeah, I'm banking on fighting. My thing is that they cost when they retreats.
They would have to because they couldn't get close to Doma.
Yeah, so that's what they retreat and regroup. That's when they tend to wounded.
Bakugo would die in that fight.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
So that's why I'm saying that's why they retreat. They all group.
So all the survivors are together?
Yep.
So what? They all fight?
Except for the poor bastards who happen to run into Kokushibo next.
No, that is like all survivors of all fights.
Which reminds me, put on a timer for that as well.
Okay.
So
you have.
So how much time do we have before sunrise?
About 40 minutes has passed by now.
I will agree actually with it's like 50 minutes have passed.
Okay,
so
50 minutes. 40 minutes.
50 minutes have passed.
Let's call it 45.
Okay, let's go 45. So
45. Okay,
45.
I will give you. I'm not going to tell you how long, but I'll give you some time to see what happens.
So,
everyone's regrouped now.
There's three plans that come about because we still have the strongest people. We still have the strongest and smartest people there.
Yes.
We're only down. We're only down 7 students.
That would start changing.
Yes.
By the time they meet those two, and those two in the same area, the flurry of punches.
That's why.
The fact
quickly.
And the fact Doma's in the area, which we haven't talked about this, but wherever Doma goes, the literal air becomes a weapon.
Mm-hmm. So
they're in the left side of the city. Doma and Akaza have been on the right side from the majority of the part. So left side is the final staging ground. So no Doma bullshit air thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? It just as he's walking around, it
keeps increasing. It's far enough to where there's.
If he's outside, it is snowing. If wherever he goes, the ice is also present. It's not something that he has to stay a certain amount of time for. He starts throwing out cold air, and in fact, that would make it worse, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Airstream shit. That would make his air travel farther.
Also, they're inside buildings.
Yeah, but Kokushibo, the fight is just going to break the buildings.
We've talked about all the buildings are probably going to end up.
Okay,
destroyed.
time's up. Kokushibo has found them.
Yeah,
the big three are in one area. I don't see them surviving that.
No,
and here's the thing: if they were fighting, by the time Kokushibo shows up, that shit stops.
All right, so
I will be nice and give a timer to how long sunrise is about to hit.
Yep. Now here's what I figured. Akaza's pretty talkative.
It depends on, for the most part, yeah.
It's like Deku's a strong opponent.
He would definitely take a liking to him, yes.
So Akaza probably. Plus,
He would be very focused on Midoriya, I agree.
Yes, Midoriya is very.
Out of everyone
studious.
in Class 1A, he would take it the most liking to him. Probably get trying to be talking to him.
Yes.
To change.
Midoriya is very studious. He's very. He's taking account everything that Akaza does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and as also what I said, Akaza lets loosely. They're demons.
Yes.
This is where they figure out about sunlight.
I was assuming they knew from the beginning about
Honestly, they don't.
Okay.
Remember, they have like around, say, 5 minutes of prep time, so they can all discuss what happened, and they might figure some kind of plan out. Because Deku, Ida, and Momo are there, the three smartest. They'll completely figure it out.
True.
There's also Bakugo as well. He's also there too.
Bakugo is smarter.
He's a fighter. He would tell them about.
Well, no,
Kokushibo.
Bakugo is just smart. He just
also
doesn't show it.
You also say about Kokushibo, what happened to the others?
Yeah, so everyone would have a.
This bastard came up and just sliced my leg off. Gotta kill that part.
Yes. So the whole idea is that this is where they start bringing out the light, UV light stuff.
Figuring out the UV light stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd agree that would slow them down, but I do think Kokushibo would make that very difficult to keep the lights up. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, which is why they hide Aoyama.
Well, I'm not worried about Ayama. I'm just saying Momo probably wouldn't make it at that point.
Unless he knows that she's making the materials.
Oh, he'd figure that shit out real quick.
It's like, she'll be real protective, and Aoyama will protect them. Like,
Those two are the two big ones that they have to protect, yes.
Those are your trump cards, basically.
yeah, she's busy making lights for everyone to have. It's like he is being hidden so he can attack from so he can attack from a distance.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like they're being guarded. There's like Deku is guarding Momo with his life. He will defend her with her life.
And having to deal with Akaza at the same time, which makes that protecting very hard.
Yes, but I think he can do it.
I don't think he can.
Here's what I think he can do it. Because remember, we're talking about season 5, so he has access to Black Whip.
I agree that Black Clip's useful. Here's
Black
my
Whip is
counterpoint.
super useful, this one.
Doma's freezing attacks, Doma's clones,
But
and more importantly,
this is where Todoroki comes into play.
his fun. I've been wanting to talk about Todoroki too. Honestly, I'm not certain Todoroki could take Doma.
I'm not banging on him to take him. I'm taking him
or
to slow
hold him back.
I'm taking him to slow him because we also
The fire would help. I agree.
We also have Bakugo there too.
I don't think Bakugo would change a damn thing.
Bakugo will, in my opinion.
You're gonna have to give
Because
facts.
Bakugo can give gauntlets to people.
Those explosions don't do enough, and they're only good for one shot.
They would probably clear the area, but only for a bit before it just goes back to normal.
Yes. So it gives Todoroki enough time to charge his fire to its hottest point.
I agree. So here's the thing. If he gets his Buddha out, that's flash freezing attacks.
That's over. It's just game over.
That's the problem. I agree that they can hold him back. I agree they have a good shot at pushing him back. But the moment that Doma's not going to give a shit about Bakugo.
He's not. That's what I'm banking on as well.
He would leave a clone or just wait for the ice in the air to kill Bakugo, which might happen.
Might happen.
I'll agree, might. But by the point that he realizes he needs to take this seriously, and they make it to flash freeze, that changes everything.
Right, and this is point one. Now, this is where I'm getting with Todoroki and Bakugo. They're superheating around as they're going around.
See, just because an explosion exudes heat, I don't think it causes enough heat.
Todoroki's fire.
Todoroki's fire, yes.
Yes.
Bakugo, no.
Bakugo is only adding to the structure, but Todoroki is the one heating around. That's why you're getting super hot.
Yeah, but I don't know for how long that
Bakugo
will
would not
last.
make it.
He would not make it. Bakugo would die.
And I'm not
Bakugo-
convinced that Shoto would make it either, to be honest. Not at his current level.
Season 5, no. Maybe in the second war arc, maybe.
Maybe where he is now in the
Yes.
manga, he absolutely could. But as of where he is now and the fact he doesn't understand the Flash Fire Fist, no.
No.
I don't see it happening.
It'd be a failed attempt.
As much as I like them and as good as his abilities are once he learns to fuse them, I do not see it happening.
Yeah. I agree with that. Their sacrifice is basically what keeps
And then comes to the main point that I've been wanting to make. By the end of the day, and despite them having the advantage, I do not see them actively beating the demons.
The whole point is surviving.
Especially these three.
Survival.
Remember, sunlight. They know how long. I'm going to give the impression that they know how long before sunrise.
One of two things would happen at this point. Leave it to the viewers to decide if they would last or not.
No, there's still a couple things I have.
That's fine.
And
But
by this point, we'll leave it to the viewers.
I mean,
But
if
we've
you want to
made
know,
our points. Everyone knows their strengths, their weaknesses.
if you want to, do you want to say what you guys honestly think?
In my honest opinion, the demons would win.
They'd kill everyone.
Even this was definitely a better scenario than I figured it would be, but based on your out of the box thinking about dealing with certain problems with each demon. I agree that was very smart. If you'd done it any other way, the demons would have just won faster. But at the end of the day, the upper three are too hard to handle.
I also want to add that Sarah and Audrey just got fucked over this scenario.
They did. I'm sorry for them.
Those poor fuckers.
Yes, but actually, it's like I'm going to say that at least one Class A student makes it.
I can
To
agree
me.
to that.
It was
And it
it
would
was a
probably
surprise.
be Midoriya.
Midoriya.
Oh, you don't think it's Midoriya?
No, if it's going to be anyone to be Hagakure.
You know what? Fair.
If it's going to be anyone to be
Fair.
Hagakure, if she's the only one, but I actually see about 4 or 5 survivors.
And by the time, and being fair in the words of fairness, saying that she does make it to Daybreak, her abilities would be the thing that would get them the win.
So theoretically, you could say My Hero wins, but with the cost of literally every fucking member but one dying.
Yeah, it's
But on the other hand,
there is one.
any other way, or the fact that I was being nice,
Yeah,
I do not see them actually winning.
I'll do this. Viewer, we already
Leave it
said
to
what we
the-
think.
Leave it to the viewers.
You can decide out of this final part, or if whatever you guys assume, who would win.
Give a like for the demons. Leave a comment down below for the My Hero.
Fuck off.
This is too cruel.
Oh my god.
I do a deal.
We'll be watching.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, this,
Buy gold.